Matsalane Mamabolo, South Africa's most successful soccer writer.
You Pirates fans were looking for Rulani to come. You guys are unrealistic. Rulani Mokoena, Pirates.
3 times winner of Premiership Soccer Writer of the Year. Every day he takes you inside SA Soccer, exclusive to omniaudio.africa. Weekdays, 9:30 a.m.
Break it down. Africa's premier sports destination.
Finally, Keletso Maghalwa gets the call up to the national team. The Sekukunean United player has just been knocking, continuously making the preliminary squad, but not making the final cut. But yesterday, Coach Hugo Broos included him in his 22-man squad that is going to play a friendly international against Zambia out in Gqeberha as we build up to the Africa Cup of Nations. But is it enough? Is it the kind of opportunity that Keletso will use to force Coach Hugo Broos's hand to include him in the national team for the Africa Cup of Nations that's going to take place out in Morocco in December? We don't know. But listen, the fact that I think this is testament to just all the players that just keep at it because Coach Hugo Broos is watching. The funny thing that my colleagues continuously do when Coach Hugo Broos announces his squad is they keep asking him about players who are not in the squad. One of those people asked about Nkosi Lodge, and I don't know why they did that, because Coach Hugo Broos was always going to just give the answers that he gave, to say to them, Nkosi Lodge had his chance. Nkosi Lodge is old. We've got young players, and I tend to agree with that. Yes, he's doing brilliantly with Wydad Casablanca, but who does he come back and replace in the squad? These are players that he could not do better than when he was still here. How do we then justify bringing him back? So I look at the squad and I'm thinking it's balanced. It's the usual suspects really, but quite a few players are going to have to raise their hands. Thabang Matuludi is in the team. Right back position, he's unlikely to unseat Khuliso Mdau as the main right back, but he has an opportunity to say to Coach Hugo Broos, consider me as your second one. Thabiso Munyani of Kaizer Chiefs has missed out because of injuries. He was not even in the preliminary, but the competition there is still very clear. Thapelo Morena, while they always include him as a forward, he is a player who can play there at right back. He plays on the wing there. He's not in the squad, and Thabang Matuludi has a brilliant opportunity to say to the coach, look at me. Some people were also asking about Mduduzi Shabalala. And Coach Hugo Bruce, I loved his response. Mduduzi, I've seen him play. He was in the Rwanda squad. And one of the things that Coach Hugo Broos likes to do, besides seeing players in action on the pitch, is to see just how they mingle with his squad. He wants to look at their behavior, both on the pitch and off the pitch, and even in camps. How do you train, but how do you get along? Because it's a unit that he's created over the years, and he would not want players coming in to mix or fix or change what he has. So a lot of people will say it's curtains from Duduzi, but I think the youngster should not give up hope. He has shown Coach Hugo Broos what he can do. When the big squad gets announced, all he has to do is keep playing well at the club, and there's opportunities. I think the match against Zambia is a friendly match, but it's an opportunity for quite a lot of players to raise their hands. Although when you look at it, essentially the squad is there. Coach Hugo Broos has his main players. But my producer Mdu Sibeko loves his football, and he thinks his namesake Mduduzi Shabalala is unlikely to even make the final squad. I don't know Mdu. I seem to think the youngster has done fairly well to, even if he's not going to play, perhaps impressed coach Hugo Bruce enough to can be in the big squad, not just the final team that will play, but maybe make it there. Why do you feel he might not make it?
Hey, but Jakes, I know a lot of Chiefs fans are going to hate me for this. First off, Mduduzi Shabalala is a very good player, good on and off the ball. Talk about creativity for Kaizer Chiefs, he knows what he's doing. But now, you compare him to a lot of players who play in his position, just only in the Betway Premiership. Does he play the position better than a Sipumbule? Does he play the position better than a Relebohile Mfokeng, who knows how to play on the wing and also knows how to play as a number 10? So, in terms of competition, he has a lot of competition there. And I don't see why Coach Hugo Bruce would sacrifice a Sipumbule or Relebohile Mfokeng for Mduduzi Shabalala. Whereas Mduduzi Shabalala, for me, he's only finding his feet now at Chiefs, if we're being honest. He's been with Chiefs for a very long time, but he's been a player that he was on and off. He was a player with moments. Only now he's becoming consistent in terms of his form and how he plays. So you take someone like that, you put them at a big stage, then now this might affect their consistency, because in a big stage it's more competitive, high press, with playing with more tempo. Now he's not the main man. Now he needs to shine and make a name for himself. So I honestly don't think he should be in the Bafana Bafana squad for me. I don't think he's the kind of player that Bafana Bafana needs. I don't even see why Hugo Broos should even consider giving him a call up. And I'm not saying this because maybe he plays for Kaizer Chiefs. I'm saying this simply because as a player, I wonder where the Betway Premiership is concerned.
Yeah,
he's good enough for that. He doesn't even strike me as a player that might even attract interest abroad. I don't even see him playing anywhere else but in the Betway Premiership. Yeah. He's a simple base. He's a normal player. He does the bare minimum. What he does, anyone else who plays in his position can do.
It's very sad that you say that, and I'll tell you why. Here's this youngster who plays for arguably the biggest club in the country, most supported club in the country, Kaizer Chiefs, and he is seen at Chiefs as one of their best. Now, if you are saying he's an ordinary player, yet he's seen as a great player by the Chiefs fans, it talks to just how the standards have dropped at Amakhosi. Because over the years, when you are a star at Chiefs, you are a star the whole country. It's so you are saying, has Kaizer Chiefs standards dropped that much?
I mean, Jakes, the standards of Chiefs have dropped drastically. After that generation, Yabo Renelo Tsulunyani's pure Shabalala, I don't think anyone has matched those standards. I don't think any coach has come in and achieved what Stuart Baxter has achieved. He's the last coach to have achieved a lot with Kaizer Chiefs. Every other coach that's come in there, they failed the club. Yeah. Yes, one might argue that, but Nabi came and won the Nedbank Cup. But what has he done? Which players has he produced? What talent has he given us? Have Kaizer Chiefs been exciting to watch? I mean, it's just, they are so fortunate that they have a big following and they have loyal fans who will go watch the club, whether the club plays well or not, but they'll continue to support the club. But you look at how, if Mduduzi Shabalala played in the days of your Spiwe Shabalala, Renelo Tsunyani, he wasn't even going to be on the bench. If he played in those days, given the amount of competition those days, even a George Lebesi would have benched Mduduzi Shabalala. For the fact that Mfundo Vilakazi comes in as young as he is, and now he's also a key player, it speaks to the quality that the club has.
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, look, we are diverting because we were focusing on the national team. But yeah, when you said what you said about Mduduzi, it just made me realize just how, in your eyes, by the way, because most Chiefs fans will probably disagree with what you're saying. But yeah, I get you. You touched on Relemo Mofokeng. I know, we it's a typical South African thing. Hey, we love looking at those who are not in the squad instead of those who are. But look, Rele is captain of my 2000. He's had off. He's been injured. He played this midweek. A lot of people were excited to see him back, and he did well to help Pirates win. But he has not been called up. Is there a cause for concern for him in that he hasn't been in the squad for a while? And this is essentially the last match where Coach Hugo Bruce is going to have this team before he announces the final squad for AFCON. Can Rele miss out on the AFCON?
I don't think so, Prajex. On Wednesday, when Pirates played Golden Arrows, he came on as a sub in the last 15 minutes of the game. Had a few touches, but those touches were brilliant. He actually created the third goal Like he just chipped it over and then Yanela Mbutuma scored, and that was just brilliant how he controlled the ball, how he read the run, how he even delayed his pass, and just how he chipped it over.
Yeah.
You could see that this is someone that's been hungry for game time. And I know one might say that it's said that he was injured, but I think the injury came as a blessing in disguise for him because it made him more hungry. When he came on as a sub, you could see that he was longing to come onto the pitch. He desperately wanted to play. And I like the fact that the likes of Ozuna Polis, Tsebang Muremi have also upped their game and made him and put him in a position where now he needs to compete to say that, hey, now I can't drop the standard. I don't think Relebohile Mofokeng is going to miss out on the AFCON. I mean, he's back now. If he plays again, creates another chance. If he just continues the momentum, continues to play the way that he's been playing, Hugo Bruce will be forced to call him. And yes, when Hugo Bruce calls him, he probably won't start him, but then he's the kind of player that can change the game. He's the kind of player that can come off the bench and create or even score important goals. And I like how when Jose Rivero was introducing us to Relebohile Mofokeng, the way Jose Rivero used to use him also was just brilliant. Come on as a sub, score a goal. Come on as a sub, create a goal. Come on as a sub, be in the build-up of a goal. Then he started games. So I think he plays better off
the bench.
when he comes off the bench for me. But I don't think he's going to miss out. But I don't think he's going to miss out, Prajeet. If Hugo Bruce wants to see South Africans go crazy, then he must leave really.
You sound like those people of the Soweto Marathon who are saying over our dead bodies it won't happen. So you're saying if Hugo doesn't take Rele to the Nations Cup, he will know. You love talent and banter, and every time I've spoken to you about football and Orlando Pirates, you get angry actually that the coach doesn't use him. Coach Hugo Bruce rates him highly. He's still in the squad.
But Jakes, if you watch the game on Wednesday.
Now I was at the Sundowns match. I was doing Sundowns, so I just saw clips of that match. I didn't watch the full match.
So Sihle Ndule gets injured in the first half of the game. Talent Mbata comes on as a sub. The moment he came on, he changed the complexion of the game. The way he was distributing the ball, the way he owned that midfield, the way Prajex, he was just like he put everyone in the game. You know, he hardly lost the ball and he won a lot. He won the ball a lot. So most of the time when he had to go intercept, he was successful. Hugo Bruce highly rates him because he knows the kind of player that he is. He highly rates him because he knows what he's capable of. And I'm not saying that Coach Owadu doesn't know what Mbata's capable of. I just don't think Coach Owadu sees him as the kind of midfield that can win him games. Because Pirates have this thing of rotating players now. But when it comes to Talent Mbata and Sekhufatso Mabasa, they hardly rotated. They're always on the bench. Every other player can come on and play, but now they're always on the bench, you know. So also kudos to Hugo Bruce for believing in him. And I like the fact that when Hugo Bruce believes in a player, whether you're getting game time or not, he will take you.
Sticks with you.
He sticks with you. He gives you enough game time, which is why I say he's going to call up Rile, because it seems like he genuinely likes the boy. Yeah, I think Talent Mbata is important for Bafana Bafana. He's definitely going to the AFCON. I don't see anyone also benching him there in Bafana Bafana. If anyone benches him, but he's still going to get game time, either come on as a sub or start the game. But I don't see anyone benching him 90 minutes there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, still on Pirates, Masindi Nemtajela gets called up. The last few matches he's been used regularly, and it clearly shows that he has impressed Coach Hugo Bruce. Is he the kind who can force his way into the final squad for the AFCON?
Prajex, given his versatility, he's a very versatile midfielder. He can play as a number 6, he can play as a number 8, he can also play as a number 10. So he's that kind of midfield that can offer you anything wherever you put him and where you play him. He almost reminds me of Sipho Mbule. Only difference is that he's more box to box. He's let's call him a healthy version of Sipho Mbule, because he can run up and down like that.
Healthy.
But yeah, Sipho Mbule somehow he lacks fitness when you watch him play. But you can't take away his game. Masindi Nemtajela has made a name for himself at Orlando Pirates and has now become a crowd favorite, because I've seen now on social media, even when we do our videos here, a lot of people are always advocating for him. That no, we understand why Mbata's on the bench, because Nemtajela also knows how to play. He knows how to score goals. He knows how to pass, and he's a bit skillful also. If he goes on camp, or when he goes on camp with Bafana Bafana, he just needs to make an impression to Coach Hugo Bruce. All he needs to do is impress him at training. I don't think he even needs to impress him on game day, because we don't even know if he's going to play. But if he can impress him at training and then go back to Orlando Pirates and continue playing as well as he's been playing, then Hugo Bruce will be forced to call him. Although sometimes you're thinking to yourself, hey, Mara, Hugo Bruce, sometimes I think it's too late to make a lot of changes to your squad.
Yeah,
I think
no,
it's
no,
too
no.
late. Personally, if you ask me, should Hugo Bruce take him to the AFCON? I'd say no. Because if he takes him to the AFCON now, Nemta Jela needs to learn how to play with a Tebu Homokwena, with a Batusi Obas, Pepelos Tole. And that takes a lot of time because they need to build relationships together. They need to be on camp. Like, I think it's...
Yeah,
I think it's
but the
too
thing
soon.
is, the thing with the Nations Cup is it's almost a bloated squad. You can take a bigger squad and there'll be players who are just there for the vibe of it. I use the vibe because your generation say vibe, but you get what I'm saying. The feel of being at a big tournament, and then there's the World Cup coming. There's other tournaments which then these youngsters. I've seen it over the years where coaches take a young man. He knows sometimes they even tell him, listen, you're not going to play, but you're part of it. You grow with it. So maybe, I look at the squad, we've spoken quite a lot about the Pirates guys who are there, and there's quite a few of them. And now I understand a lot of people felt, but what is Coach Hugo Bruce says? And Coach Hugo Bruce has said, I wish Pirates get knocked out of the curling knockout this weekend. And it talks to the fact that if Pirates go to the final, he's going to miss some of these guys when he starts his early camp. And he said it, this old man, that he hates the curling knockout. Why do we have the curling knockout? The other day he said, I'm happy Chiefs are out. I'm happy Sundowns are out in particular. Because he knows now that the Sundowns players, when he calls them to camp, Sundowns have nothing. You as Pirates fans, you want to win this thing, I'm sure. You win this thing, your players get disadvantaged at the national team. It's a...
Jakes, I don't even think they'll get disadvantaged at the national team. Pirates wins this. Hugo Broos then has players who just come from winning a cup. They come to the Bafana Bafana squad motivated. They come to the Bafana Bafana squad with a winning mentality and like, coach, I just can't wait to play. We just won a domestic cup. We've won the second domestic cup. We're the guys. Like, coach, we helped you qualify for the World Cup. So, you can trust us. You can depend on us. I think maybe his biggest concern also, besides the players not being available for camp on time, injuries. I think that's his biggest concern because I think he also really got injured playing the Carling Knockout Cup. Yeah. If it wasn't for the Carling Knockout Cup, he wouldn't have been injured, and then he would have been at the national team, and he would be playing regularly. So I think his biggest concern are injuries, but also Pirates has enough depth. He can call up his players that he wants. Pirates will still go on and win. Like, there's enough depth at Orlando Pirates that they can play without Evidence Maho, but there's Yanela Mbutuma. They can play without Nemta Jela. We have Bosilepe. There's a lot of players that can replace those players and still win Orlando Pirates the game. Cameron Dainson can also play in Talent Mbata's place. Sihlendule is not called up, so it's fine. Lebo Nesiema is not called up. Tabiso Sesan is back to training. There's Olisanda, who's also back in training. So there's a lot of depth at Orlando Pirates, and he doesn't even use Orlando Pirates left back and right back. So Orlando Pirates are safe. So yeah, they can play without a Tito. It's fine. They can manage.
Okay. Coach Bruce also touched on, it's Themba Zwane. Look, Themba Zwane is probably the best player we've had of this generation, and even though he's injured, people are still asking, is he going to the Nations Cup? Coach Hugo Bruce has said he's worried about Themba in that if he doesn't play in the next 2 weeks, he's going to miss out on the Nations Cup. That would be sad, isn't it? But injuries are part and parcel of football. One of the things I know, and I've shared this with a few people, my experience of football. Many years ago, I remember the National Under-23 that Coach Shakes Mashaba coached to the Olympics in 2000. They had a player, Patrick Mbutu was a big star of that team, played in almost all the qualifiers, played a crucial role in qualifying. Ace got injured. We called him Ace then. He got injured just before the squad for the Olympics was to be announced. Proper injured. But then when the squad was to be announced, I remember it was a Soweto derby, Chiefs playing Pirates, and Kaizer Chiefs played him. Because they needed him to go to the Olympics. But Ace was not himself. But those of us who were close to Ace almost exaggerated his performance, almost trying to force Shakes' hand in picking him up. And I'm seeing this almost replaying itself because Coach Hugo Bruce has said if Themba does not play in the next 2 weeks, he's going to miss out. Is there a risk that Sundowns might say, let's give him a run so that the coach calls him up?
Hey, Because also, Brajex, Tabaya Tembazwan is a bit difficult because at club level, it doesn't seem Miguel Cardoso believes in him. It doesn't seem Miguel Cardoso sees his quality. And he's at a point now in his career where he seems injury prone. It was so sad to see him come back and then 2 games after coming back, boom, then he gets injured again. I think all Coach Hugo Bruce can do for Tembazwane, because we know the kind of player that he is and what he's contributed for Bafana Bafana. Call him up even if he's injured. You don't necessarily have to call him up to go play. Just call him up there and say that we just need your presence there. You being there alone can play like a big role for these players. You can train with the players. You can be there on the sideline, like boosting these players, cheering them on. Because I remember, Prachex, we spoke about this off air. When Lucky Luhwati came here, he said, once the whistle blows and it's kickoff time, we forget about the coach as players. We listen to each other. He's like the captain then becomes the coach. Everyone listens to the captain. And then we all listen to each other. So Tembazwane knows what it's like to play and then block your ears and not listen to the coach, but listen to each other as players. So whenever something is going wrong, Tembazwane can go into the locker room and say, Coach, please just give me a moment with the players and tell them that, gents, last season when we played here, here's what happened. We've been here. We know the pressure of being here. Coach, they can keep saying this and that, but we know what we need to do when we get on the pitch. And because most of the players that he played with last season would have then gotten a call-up, so just his presence there alone for me will make a big difference, whether he plays or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to expose my age, but I'm reminded of a similar situation way back in 1998, I think. Yes, I think it was 1998, when, what's his name? John Mueti actually got injured the last match of the season before we went to the World Cup. I think that was it. Pirates were playing Sundowns in a cup final, and he got injured. But the South African Football Association, because he was part and parcel of the national team, he'd been there, and the National Association felt, let's take this guy. And he went, I remember he went to the World Cup on crashes. So, I don't know. Look, it's almost creating a precedence that says some players are more equal than others, but I guess the reality of it is what Temba has done for the national team and all that. So let's see what Coach Hugo Bruce does. But he has said if he doesn't play in the next week, we leave him. But I suppose it can be a question of SAFA themselves saying, okay, let's take this guy with us to the thing. But yeah, Coach Hugo Bruce spoke about his selections, explained why he picked who he picked. And yeah, this is what the coach had to say about his selection.
Why we only play one game? Well, when you see the overloaded program for the moment in PSL that players are playing every 3 days, I wanted to, how you call it in English, save them a little bit of another 2 games with the national team. Every game with the national team, I ask the players to go for 100%. And I think with all the games they are playing now, that it was better to play only one game and a good game than playing 2 games and having players who suffer of fatigue or what else. We played a lot of games this year already, so I don't think that we need another 2 games now. We are preparing AFCON next month, so we will play another friendly before we leave to Morocco. So I think it's enough. I didn't want to have another game in this month. Why an African game again? I saw in the media that some journalists were asking why are they not playing against a South American or whatever team. Well, we're preparing AFCON. We don't prepare World Cup. World Cup is after AFCON. AFCON is so important that for me it's better to play again against an African team than to play against a South American or whatever. This is something we will do after New Year in March and before we go to the World Cup in June. But I didn't want to play a game again, a non-African team now again. It's also the last game that we can give chances to some new players. You will see when I read the selection, there were a few new boys. A few others were not there or are not there because I know those players, so I didn't have to see them. But I took this opportunity in this game for Zambia to call some new players and to see them on training, to see how the mentality is, and maybe for the future that we can count on them. So, the selection for the team of the selection for the Zambia friendly. So goalkeepers, Ronwen Williams, Ricardo Goss, and Sifo Shane. Defenders, Kuliso Mudau, Tabang Matuludi, Tabo Malwasane, Ankonsinati Sibisi, Aubrey Modiba, Kulumani Ndamane, and Samukelo Kabini, and Bekezeli Ambokazi. So midfielders, Tebogo Mokoena, Masindi Nemtajela, Batusi Obas, Talente Mbata, and Spejelo Sitole. Strikers, Oswin Apolis, Muhau Onkota, Tsepang Moremi, Evidence Maghopa, Lyle Foster, Sifo Mbule, and Keletso Makalwa. So those are the 22 players for the friendly game against Zambia.
Now, we see the squad. We know we are playing Zambia. Quite an opportunity for the Nemtajelas, your Geletse Mahalwa to raise their hands and say, Coach Hugo Bruce, consider me for the final squad. So let's see how that goes. Now, big news, great news for South African football, I think, is that our national under-17s are on the verge of qualifying for the second round, the knockout stages of the World Cup out in Qatar. They currently are second on the table. They played last night against the host Qatar. It was a 1-1 draw. Emil Vedboy equalizing 4 points out of 2 matches. Their last match is against Italy, who are top of the table on 6 points. But all they need is to play a draw, because then they'll have 5 points. Qatar, who are below them, cannot overtake them. Even if they win, they'll go to 4 points. It's beautiful news. And there's that whole factor that the third best placed team, 8 of them, go through to the next round. I mean, we've just recently celebrated the under-20s going through to the knockout stages, the first men's team in South African football to go to the World Cup stage, knockout stage. It looks like Coach Vela Kumalo and his boys are also going to do that. For me, that's great news. In an environment where we are always complaining about SAFA and things not going right, but on the pitch, which is where it matters, things are going well.
Hey, Jakes, I think right now it's the best time to be a fan of local football, because everything seems to be going our way. Bafana Bafana qualify for the AFCON, qualify for the World Cup. Under-20s win the World Cup, qualify for the World Cup. Under-17s, they win the AFCON. Under-17s are now also playing the World Cup, and it's looking likely that they're going to go advance to the knockout stages. I'm hoping they can make it as far as the semi-finals. It would really be nice to see them play the semi-finals.
That's tight.
And I know it's a bit tight, but should they make it that far, then it means we are safe as Bafana Bafana, because these boys are then the future of Bafana Bafana. So we just expect the boys to play well. And shout out also to Tando Mngomeni and Coach Vela for what they're doing there.
Tabo, you mean?
Tabo.
Yeah,
Tabo Mngomeni. It shows, Jakes, that sometimes experience, you can't buy experience, but you can only pass it down. So he's passing on his experience to the next generation, and these boys are then going to come and represent at the highest level. And then this is when the Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates should start scouting to say, hey, maybe let's take this one and groom this one. This could be our next Rilem Fukeng. This could be our next Tso Vilakazi. And I think this is where stars are born. But also this is where a lot of our big clubs, and this is where SAFA then forget to make the right investment. They only want to start investing when these guys are called up to Bafana Bafana. Because you can imagine if Relebohile Mofokeng played the Under-17 World Cup. Imagine how far it'd be now. Imagine how Kota with his talent, if he had played there at that level. Mbegezeli Mbogazi, I don't even think he'd be playing for Orlando Pirates right now.
Yeah, if he had gone to that well. Yeah, sure.
And Jakes Mfundo Vilakazi himself, he would have been better developed. I mean, he plays well, but you can see a player that lacks development in terms of their decision making, like unnecessary showboating, how they carry themselves on the pitch. You can see that, okay, here and there, they lacked development. But this is the right stage to develop a player. These boys, by the time they have to play at senior level, their confidence is going to be they're gonna have so much confidence, and it's gonna be difficult to play against them. You look at someone like a Lionel Messi, Ronaldinho, Neymar. They played at that level. That level is what prepared them to play at the senior level. By the time they went to senior, it was easy to be a team. It was easy for the 17-year-old Messi to be a teammate to Ronaldinho because he knows what it's like to play under pressure and to play at that level. And also, these other countries know how to support all divisions of their national teams. A lot of us only watch Bafana Bafana.
Yeah,
we won't stay up to watch the under-20s. And I guess also that's wrong because then the boys will somehow feel like, if South Africans are not willing to stay up late to watch us, then why would a scout from Orlando Pirates stay up to watch? Why would a scout from Italy even watch us? Because the scouts from Italy will watch their own young Italians and invest in them. So I think also as supporters, we then need to take it upon ourselves to say that, no, we shouldn't be biased when it comes to the beautiful game and just watch the senior teams, but we must support all of them.
Yeah, you touched on something very beautiful there about just what playing in these big stages at this early age does for a player. And I'm reminded of that group of Benny McCarthy and them that played at the 1997 Africa Championships, finished as runners-up. They went to the World Cup. They played against Yotiri and Rees and them. And that's why Benny McCarthy became who he did, because he was not phased when he met these guys out in Europe. It's people he's already competed with, and you saw it. What saddens me about our football is exactly that we've lost. So you look now, we had a group of under-20s who went to the World Cup. Where are they now? Just disappeared. The South African Football Association don't seem to have sort of a progression plan to say, we need to keep these boys together. Because if we don't, we lose them. We've lost a lot of them. And that group of Bennies from 97, it was your Matthew Booth, your Stanton Fredericks. Quite a few of them made it, but majority just fell by the wayside. And we need to change that. The future is bright. You've got your under-20s. They'll grow up. Logic says, let them progress to be under-23s, if possible, with the coach, because then there's continuity. Then they'll grow. So let's hope so. I mean, but yeah, Coach Vela Kumalo, he was a little disappointed that they did not win the match against Qatar, but you're playing against the host, and it's always a little difficult. And this is what he had to say about the match itself. So yeah, listen, all the best for these boys. They are playing their next match on Sunday against Italy. Italy are top of the table, essentially already qualified. We can beat Italy. We know it won't be that easy. We know how good defensively they always are. But a point out of there, we go through to the next round. And even if we were to, 4 points will take us. We are on 4. If we get 5, we will be second. But there's the third place. But I'd love for us to go through qualifying as the runners-up. And then, knockout stage, anything is possible. As Mdu says, hopefully we keep continuing, progressing. And who knows, get into the semi-finals. That would be incredible, because if you remember, we qualified because this tournament has been enlarged. There's 48 nations playing there. We hadn't even qualified for the shorter one. But that doesn't matter anymore. We are there. We've done well. So all the best to Amajimbos for their match. Now, this weekend, semi-finals. Coach Hugo Bruce has said he'd like Orlando Pirates to lose in the semi-finals. They're playing Richards Bay. 2 matches out in KZN as well. What's your anticipation of this? The coaches have said they are ready. Richards Bay, Coach Gabriel, young coach, building his name. Imagine him taking Richards Bay into the final at the expense of Orlando Pirates.
Hey, Jakes. I'd like to disagree with Coach Hugo Broos.
That's what he wants. I mean,
also it's not about what he wants. We understand that his concern is Bafana Bafana, but remember, Orlando Pirates fans also want to win. I mean, this would also wipe away their tears of being knocked out of the CAF Champions League, and this would also be good for Coach Abdeslam Owadu's CV to say that, hey man, you made it to the finals of the MTN8. Now you're in the finals of the of the Carling Knockout. You haven't lost a game in the league in a very long time. So I think also he should also consider the fact that someone's job is at line.
Yeah.
He's already
He's thinking
told us
about
that
his own job.
after World Cup Wavaya, so he's
Yeah.
sorted. He's good, you know. So I think Orlando Pirates are gonna win. I think the players are motivated. They're gonna go there with the mindset of winning, obviously. And also remember, Calling Knockout is a sponsor of the tournament. So for the sponsors' sake, it would be nice to have an Orlando Pirates at the finals. If Orlando Pirates doesn't make it at the finals, and then we have two small teams in the finals, the
What
sponsor
small
then-
teams?
okay, projects. We need one of the biggest team in the country to be in the finals.
We've had this Carling knockout before. I think it was the first one we had Stellenbosch against TS Galaxy, and the final was there.
Yeah, but now it means that the sponsors have to invest more in advertising and push people to buy tickets. Now they have
bag.
to book a lot of celebrities to come perform. And now projects, it's a bigger budget,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I think if Orlando Pirates are there, then it's like, it makes for good football. It's entertaining. Coach Owadu gets to, now he can look back at Jose Rivera and say, look, I want something that you couldn't win.
Yeah.
I'm out of the CAF Champions League, but I
But
want something that you failed
you
to win.
couldn't, so.
I think Orlando Pirates is gonna win this one, Jakes, by a very big margin. Even could be a 3-1 or even a 4-1.
Okay. The second semi-final, Mangoba Mngqithi is doing very well. With Golden Arrows, they lost to Pirates midweek, but they'd been going well. Their player of the what? Glove won. Player of the month, one goal of the month. They are playing Marumo Gallants. This young coach, what's his name? Lafitte, has just come into South Africa. 28. He's doing very well. What kind of match should we expect there, and who do you think will win?
Marumo Gallants straight win, Projects.
Against Golden Arrows in Durban.
Marumo Gallants straight win, Projects. Marumo Gallants straight win.
Why are you so sure?
They have a special coach. That guy knows what he's doing. That guy knows what he's doing and he understands his football. We're talking about a guy that comes from winning a league in Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, sure, I know.
We're talking about a guy that, for me, knows.
Sundowns.
He's beaten Sundowns, he's beaten Orlando Pirates, he drew against Kaizer Chiefs, and he came back from behind to draw against Kaizer Chiefs. And look at how they even made it to the semi-finals of the Carling Knockout. Mangoba Mngqithi doesn't stand a chance for me. I see what Mangoba Mngqithi is doing there, and I love what he's doing there, and I'm happy for him. Also, given how he left Mamelodi Sundowns, I still think they were a bit unfair on him. But no, there's no way he's gonna stand a chance against Marumo Gallants. That team is just, they're such a bliss to watch right now. I like what Ndlondlo is doing. Ndlondlo has always been a good player. Orlando Pirates was just too much for him, which goes back to what I'd sometimes say about other players, that I feel that the Orlando Pirates badge can be a bit heavy for some players. But take them to a Marumo Gallants, TS Galaxy, then you see how brilliant these players are. Projects 2-0 even. Marumo Gallants 2-0 straight.
So we've got Marumo Gallants against Pirates in the final, as you say. Coach Owadu against his former team. Okay.
And then it's gonna be an interesting final.
Yeah. More exciting. I suppose when you look at the fact that Pirates have just smashed Golden Arrows 3-1, you're looking at that final, Marumo Gallants and Pirates would be a more exciting final. Let's see how it goes. Mdu has called it. Yeah, that's the show for today, folks. Go enjoy your weekend. Go watch the teams. The matches are all in KZN. We don't have any other matches. And then thereafter, Bafana Bafana, Zambia. We've seen who Coach Owadu has called. It's up to the coach, Hugo Broos, and it's up to the players who are on the fringes to really raise their hands. We're playing Zambia. It should be an interesting game. Coach Hugo Bruce has said, somebody was asking, why didn't you play European? I'm like, how do you ask that? We are preparing for AFCON. It makes sense that we play against continental opposition. So that's the show. Have a good weekend. We shall meet again at the beginning of the next one.